Carl Bierock. Welcome back to the Jaguar Football Podcast. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about on today's episode. We're not only going to recap week 2, which was the Fox game, but we're also going to talk about our upcoming matchup against Northwest, a big Class 6 matchup. And then, of course, stay tuned for the end. We're going to have the Junior Jaguar Raffle drawing. So, Coach, a lot going on, a lot to take in on the roller coaster of emotions from last Friday.
Well, Carl, we got to do it here. We beat Fox, so that means for the next 365, the coffee tastes a little bit better, the sun's going to shine a little brighter, and all of our wives are going to look a little prettier. So, anytime, it's always a good matchup, and we talked about that last week. Look, they got us for 15 years in a row. We've gotten them the last 5. It's going to be a back and forth game like this every year. When you have a rivalry game, and it sure feels good to come out on top of what I'm calling an all-time thriller. Probably jumps right to the top of my all-time games list, simply because of the dramatics. The seriousness of the game, the rivalry aspect, the fans, the crowd, the atmosphere, and then just how our kids never gave up. We've only won 2 overtime games, since I've been here, and I don't think we've won any before that. So, anytime you get to overtime and the stakes get higher, just makes it that more special. So happy for our kids, proud of them. A night they'll never forget.
Yeah, let's dig in. So, if you could set the stage for the folks that weren't there, obviously, big rivalry game, the place is packed.
Mm-hmm.
Not a very high-scoring game initially. I believe we, took the first score, and then it was kind of a little back and forth. I was just wondering if you could set the stage and what you were experiencing from the sideline for the first half of the game.
Yeah, first half defense did what they needed to do. Bend but don't break. They're an option football team, and what you'll notice, what you probably noticed throughout the game is their quarterback played a really great game. I mean, he's tough as nails, and he was really making great reads. Whereas in the past, we haven't had to worry so much about the quarterback, and we were able to really stuff him up in the middle. So that was a dynamic that they added, and it allowed them to gain some yards and momentum throughout the game. But defense did a great job stopping them and getting off the field in the first half. Offensively, we're working to find our identity. We have to be able to move the football. But as you talked about, move the football on the ground. But hey, as we talked about all preseason, we want to be able to take the top off of defense, and we did that early with Nick Weidler, and then later in the game, as we'll see here.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such an exciting game. Obviously, the crowd's into it, and it's always the big game. Everyone talks about it. I know even like the school district had a lot of promotion for this game. And I believe, Coach, you're going to talk to us about a few plays in particular.
Yeah, I thought it might be kind of fun to relive that last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, some overtime, a lot of questions. Hey, what's happening? What decisions being made? What do what's really going on out there? So just kind of open it up a little bit and talk about it. Hey, we're gonna bring it to the play right here. 5 minutes left, 7-7 football game, rivalry game, 4th and 1. Head coach says go for it. We've made a living the last 5-6 years. If you've been following, getting this 1 yard. Week 1, we didn't get that 1 yard against Parkway West, and obviously in this game here against Fox, we didn't get that 1 yard that we needed. And hey, I'll own this call. I've made this call many a times, and it's kind of one of those things where you either make the same call every time and you're right more times than you're wrong. Or, sometimes you do it this way, sometimes you do it this way. You're 50-50, and then your 50-50 breaks down even more on whether you're able to get it or not. So, we felt pretty confident in getting this 1 yard. We needed some momentum, even in this 7-7 game. And guess what? I was wrong. It happens. And, it's the game. It's how it flows back and forth. Credit to Fox and their kids doing a really good job. On this play, back just gets a little bit wider. This isn't a D or D back play. This is an A or B. I know the next time we call this, we're getting the 1. Back's hanging in the hole. Linemen are going to get their blocks. We're going to get that 1 yard. Credit to Fox making a great play. Hey, obviously, we're a little deflated. Momentum goes to Fox. I mean, we talk about that roller coaster, don't we, Carl? Up, down, side to side. So Fox gets some momentum. You can see their quarterback there on a good read, getting in the hole, going to second and short. All right. We talked about it all week with our defensive line. All right. What Dylan Lappy is able to do, create a fist fight in a phone booth in there. And this one, no lane to go. Get to that third and short, 3rd and 4 territory. All right. Dylan Lappy makes another great play. All right. Scrapes right over the top, finds the quarterback. He made a lot of tackles on Friday night to where he was being blocked by 2 or 3 people and still making the tackle, right? So now you kind of get into this territory. Everybody's got timeouts left. Everybody wants to make the right play call. Fox gets to 4th and 4 here. They call a timeout. They talk it over. I think we may have called a timeout here, actually. We wanted to get in the right defense here. We called the timeout, widened our backers out a little bit. And you can just tell Fox, now you see they're in the pistol here. We were just a little slow on our play side linebacker here than we wanted to be. And I don't know about you, Carl. I thought that was a pretty generous spot here on this play.
You talk about there were a couple games where the referees gave you those spots and you wanted to buy them lunch the next day.
Yeah.
Perhaps that was one of those cases.
Yeah, this is one of them cases. Hey, you know what? Hey, you play the game and got a favorable spot. You'll kind of see me over here on the side, possibly. I wanted a stinking measurement up here. You got me out there. I'm kind of checking to see how close it is. I'm kind of like eyeballing it. And I'm trying to get Andre, our sideline judge. I'm like, can we at least get a measurement? Because it was close. It was close. It's a huge game, big moment. We didn't get the measurement. Fox get the first down. Credit to them. All right. Defense, keep working. All right, you see their option play here. We want them to get to the pitch, but in this play, they do a great job of putting the tight end on this side. Okay, you can see the tight end here. What that does, that brings our free safety over here. Okay, and now he has a longer path to that pitch. Making it a little bit longer, and just because of that, all right, they get a first down. And you see Dylan Lappy on the quarterback here. I mean, this is a clean play. This is a clean hit. It's bang, bang. That poor quarterback was taking it all night long. I mean, credit to him. He took a beating. Football hurts sometimes. But that guy kept getting up and doing it again. So, now obviously being a little deflated, Fox gets the momentum. All right. They're doing some positive things. They score right there, 14-7. They kick it out of bounds, little strategy. They don't want us to return it. So I'll say, okay, let's back them up 5 yards. Let's make a kick again. If we'd have took the penalty, we get it on the 35. Well, guess what? They kick off, and we only return it to the 33. So we lose 2 yards. Striking out on a lot of calls here by the head coach. But, I mean, wait, we're playing a football game. What are we going to do? Like I said, we talk about that roller coaster. All right. This was about as low on that roller coaster as I've ever been, in my coaching career, as far as, giving Fox the ball in the 35, asking the defense to bail us out. They weren't able to do it. And now it's, 2 minutes to go, ball's on the 35 with 2 minutes to go, and we got to score. Credit to the kids. They did a great job. They stayed focused. They kept playing. Coaches kept coaching. All right. Let's kind of break this down, see what happens. We had run a few out routes with Nick during the game, so we wanted to get cheap and try to run an out and up. All right. Obviously, they got 3 guys over the top. Don't get beat deep. I'm sure that's what their coaches were saying, right? So I'm like, great. We're going to have a hell of a time here trying to take the top off this defense, especially with these guys sitting deep. And they have DJ Cox back here, great athlete. I believe number 4, some of them might be back there, 2 great athletes. So we kind of come out, little trickery here. We call this is our James Bond series. We actually brought the tight end out and another lineman. We're just going to throw a quick screen, try to catch it, get up the field. We actually caught this off guard on the previous series when it was 7-7, but we didn't get lined up in time. We would have scored a touchdown. Hey, we're in our hurry up offense. We practice it all the time. All right. We do a great job on the perimeter. All right, get up the field. Okay, now you can see the coaches. You see Coach Connor. He's got his hand signals going up in the corner up there. All right, guys know it's hurry up time. Get hurried up, line up, line up. Catch him off guard here. You getting that hurry up offense. Cam Benson slips behind the defense. And let's take a look down at the pass pro here. Now, this is something that really helped us out. You want to know, like, well, why didn't we throw more against Parkway West? Well, they're rushing 5 or 6. How much time did the quarterback have, right? Fox is only rushing 3. All right, they're dropping 8. I mean, my God, we could have packed a lunch back here, right? I mean, he's doing a great job, got his eyes downfield. Right about here, that ball's hitting that apex. I'm like, oh my God, we might catch this thing. And then I'm like, okay, this is going to take a hell of a catch. And this is a hard catch. I mean, this is as close to Willie Mays over the shoulder, in center field catch as you're going to get. That ball is flying 55 yards in the air. It's coming down with a lot of force. It could have just as easily went through that breadbasket. Cam Benson, though, we talked about it. We've been working to make him into a football player. That's a football play right there. Oh, gosh, we got hope. Hurry up, get up to the football, get up to the football. You can see Fox, they're walking, they're tired, they're sidelines. Now they're on that low point of that roller coaster, right? And we're over there celebrating. They had a guy go down, so that gave us some time to really sit and talk about what we wanted. Look, I know I'm a masher. Everybody knows I love to run the football. Sometimes, though, we got to take what we can get. We like this matchup on the corner, on this edge right here. Look at the inside alignment. See that just a step inside. That's going to give us our perfect out route here. Okay, we actually tried to get him to jump off sides, and then we actually called this route in from the sideline. This is a fantastic job. Nick Weidler, great route. Quarterback has to deliver the football on a dime. Touchdown, party. Problem is now is the job's not done, right? It's 14-13, right? It's 14-13. We still got to get this thing tied up. Do we go for 2, right? And, well, I learn, I adapt, I watch, okay? Didn't have a lot of confidence in us getting these 3 yards, with where we were at. So we put it on the Toledo team. These guys work every day. We call it Toledo. It's our field goal team. And we work this every day. Ben Bosrick, Victor Fight, Cam Benson, snapper, holder, kicker are working this daily before practice. We work it daily in practice, and I had a lot of faith in these guys. But you got to think about how nerve-wracking this is for those 3. I mean, you got Victor Fight up there and Ben Bosrick, both seniors, both, working behind the scenes to find a role, maybe not starting. This is their moment. This is huge, right? I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I'm Victor Fight, I'm snapping this thing so far right, Donald Trump ain't even going to catch this thing. If I'm Cam Benson, my hands are going to be shaking. If I'm Ben Bosrick, okay, we get the snap, we get the hold. I'm yanking this thing so far left, Bernie Sanders ain't even going to be able to find it. But these guys locked in, they got it done, all right, because that's what they practiced. That's what the team needed them to do.
Hey, Coach, before we show the outcome of that play, this is almost happening in real time. So, like, you saw the clock, it's ticking. I want to get inside your head and your coaches. You have the headsets. What is the chatter going on? And, ultimately, you decide, okay, like, we're kicking. How does that go? How does that play through for the folks?
Yeah, well, it's basically, oh, God, I hope we make it. If you all see one of my new coaches, Coach Lucas, big beefy guy with a beard on the sideline, a lot of energy. I legitimately hid behind him. I don't think I watched it. I couldn't. So if we missed it, I didn't want to see it. If we made it, I wanted somebody to tell me so we could party. And we did. Then here we go. If you were with us in 2021, we had a big late touchdown against Fox. That first time we beat them, they got a huge long return to get momentum. Wouldn't you know? Another huge long return. So somebody yell from the bleachers next time for me to squib kick it. For the love of God, somebody remind me to squib kick it at the end of a game against Fox. Because credit to them, they have a really good scheme. They really do. They have a really good scheme on their kickoff. One guy out of our lane, one guy getting kicked, and here we are. Now we got to perform. Now, football's hard. And I know everybody in the stands, we're all thinking, okay, the only thing they could do is take the top off and get over the top, just like just like we did to them. And, their corner fell asleep. Colton Fowler here, it's tough. We press all week. All week we talk about pitch man, pitch man, pitch man. You got pitch. And that's where his mind went. You take one step inside, and here we go. Now, he might be the whooping boy on this play, but what a hustle to go make the tackle. Carl, I didn't run it, but just for time's sake, but guess who made the game-saving tackle on that last kickoff that Fox made?
Yeah, I would have to guess number 2.
Yeah, Colton Fowler,
Yep.
right? Now, he may have gave up another touchdown early in the game, but the kid never quit. And we're not done listening to his name, right? That's what this game is about. You make a mistake, you flush it, and we got to get ready for the next one. Colton made a huge game-saving tackle on the kickoff. You may have forgot about that, all right? Look, lets it happen again. They get a little bit behind them. Look at all the momentum, cheering on the sideline. All right, now here we go. We're playing football. Fox clocks it, 56 seconds. All right, second down. Now where are we at on that roller coaster, Carl? We're down here.
I don't even know if we're like in the middle of the loop, going up the
Right.
loop.
Exactly. Fox is riding high.
Yeah.
Okay, we do a great job. That's Jude Privish, their fullback. He is a mountain of a man if you did not see him on the field. A lot of credit to that kid. All right, they're trying to get into their hurry up. The clock's ticking. We're on the headsets. What call do we want to be in? Finally, I can't remember. What call do we want to be in? They're getting their call. We're talking on the headsets. Do we want to be in crazy? Do we want to be in base? Do we want the linebackers up? And we're finally like, we need the linebackers up. So I'm like, crap, I need to call a timeout. So then I run all the way down here. You can see me up here. I call a timeout at the last second. I mean, the headsets are going wild. We're trying to figure this thing out. What do we need to do? Fox calls a timeout. We get a timeout on that play. I think we missed one. I believe on that next play, Fox jumps off sides, right? They try to get us to jump on the previous play, and they jump off sides. Now you see how the ball's back. So now it's 3rd down and 8. Okay, so now we got some space. Maybe I made the right call there. Maybe I called a timeout and they tried to do something fancy and they jumped off sides. Coach Pear made one right call, right? Now you get to this point here, 3rd and 8, 24 seconds. Put the ball in your best player's hands. They give it to the quarterback. He's got the lane. We're just a little bit over the top. He's got that lane. You'll see Seth Maxwell come from the backside, punch this ball out. Punch. Ball's on the ground. If they land on it there, they score. Guess who lands on it? None other. Number 2, Colton Fowler. All right, staying in the game. Hey, we're partying over here. We're excited. We got life. We ain't celebrating because we won. We're celebrating because we just came back from the dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, celebrate. I'm jumping around. I almost tackle somebody. I mean, hey, now we've got life. All right, now we've got that life again. Now we get together. Okay, y'all. Time to lock in. Time to focus. We're in overtime. 0-0.
Let me pause here for a moment. So makes a big play, and some of the other camera views that I saw of the game, it looked like he was not blocked. He came in, was able to make a tremendous play to knock that ball out of the quarterback's hand.
You talked about not giving up on a play, Carl. Seth was the backside corner, okay, or backside safety. He came all the way across the field, never gave up, and punched that ball out. Now I asked him, "Did you mean to punch that ball out?" Coach, I was just trying to make the tackle, and all of a sudden I had the ball. I got him. So,
And I'm showing my age. I think back to the late '80s, and I don't have the Denver Bronco jerseys behind me tomorrow, but there was a play. It was called the fumble, and Ernest Biner had a clear path to the end zone, or he could just run over a corner. Corner made a great play and just punched the ball out. Denver recovers. That game defined, I think, that franchise going forward. You mentioned in your email that you thought this was a defining, win for, Sekman. And to have that kind of roller coaster and to make that play like that, I mean, it's just you couldn't script it to be something like that.
No, I mean, you think, we're coming out 0-2 from a 1-point loss to Parkway West and an overtime loss or a last-second loss to Fox. That's tough to pick the pieces up 0-2, right? The story would be very different. So now, the story for this team going to be a little different, right? Since we came out on top. And That huge moment, you get back to the top, right? Fox is down here now. We're back to the top. And here we go. Now it's 8. We wanted to start on defense. A lot of teams, you want to start on defense in overtime, so you know what your offense has to do, right? You're in position to make that call if you want to go for 2 or go for 1. We didn't win. Fox won the toss. They decided to start on defense. And we ran this play a few times Friday night. A little toss out to Quinn Mattingly. I told you guys, blink and you'll miss him. Really huge moment for him. He had 2 big plays. You're going to see us kind of shuffle to the left, drag these linebackers 2 steps to the left. Game of angles. When we do that, we pitch it right back to the right. 2 steps, boom. Now you got Quinn in a foot race. Now we're starting with a good 10-yard gain, and we got some momentum. Come back. Hey, let's get to a little power run game. All right, we've been stuffing it all night long, getting it inside. We talk about it right. Inside early, we suck that linebacker in. Outside late, we pop it out. Mason Fowler gets a good gain. Hey, we're feeling like we're in pretty good business here. Wanted to come with a little play action here. You see Quinn come out of the backfield. Linebacker makes a really good job. Right about here, I was feeling good about this play. All right, because he's attached, he's stuck, and Quinn's got all this space. Linebacker does a great job coming off, making a good play. Hey, still second down. Interesting note about this play. We got senior Stephen Walsh out there at receiver. Remember earlier in the game, it's 7-7. We're driving the football. We are moving it. Okay, Steven has a specific package for us when he's out there, and I'm going to talk about him. It's okay because this is his redemption story. He gets out there in the third quarter, makes a great block, drives his guy down. Instead of getting up and getting ready for the next play, Steven made it about himself for about 2 seconds and then gave that guy a little extra. When he got up, guess what the ref does? Whoop! 15-yard penalty. Instead of a first down, now we're 1st and 20. We don't live in 1st and 20 very often. I wasn't very happy with Steve in that moment. It's just a flag we haven't had in a long time. We have done a really good job. We pride ourselves on playing clean, being a good football team, not playing through the whistle, but not after. And there was a penalty we just have not had. So I'm just like, in that moment, that's something bad football teams do. Steven knew he messed up. We put him on the bench for a little bit, saw him a little later in the game. I said, your opportunity is going to come. You better lock back into this thing. Second football gets to overtime. Stephen Walsh is out there on the field. It's his package. It's his play. All right, we're running 6 week. See that hole he made there? I mean, we could have drove a truck through it. There you go. 2022, last time we were in overtime, Cole Rubel scores the game-winning touchdown. Flash forward, 2025, his brother Chance Rubel scores the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Huge play. Kick the extra point. All right, Fox's turn. All right, quarterback keep. He was a load. There's no way to say it. That guy is an absolute warrior. All right. Dylan Lappy, you see him make a great tackle there. 24 tackles, a team record. Tied the team record for tackles in a season, or in a game, excuse me. They got out to their pitch. Once again, did a good job of creating that space. All right. Little slow. All right. That's Colton Fowler, game-saving tackle once again. There's his name again. Keep playing football. And this was kind of part of our game plan. Luke Ferrario, I told you, our best athlete on the team, has his hand in the dirt. We wanted him chasing this down all game. Hadn't gotten there yet. In overtime, game plan finally works, and he gets further from behind. So now they're sitting second and long, not a place they like to be. They get the ball to their best athlete. DJ Cox, he gets the edge. We do a really good job limiting him. Third and long. This is what they're good at this. Carl, we talk about this. I talk about this with the boys. Every year the quarterbacks are great at this. Dive, play side, quarterback follows. We get all that mess play side. All right, and this quarterback, what he'll do, he'll get that mess. He comes back to the A-side gap, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to score on this play that tortures me, because they do a great job of that, and we try to prepare for it. But it's tough because we got everybody coming play side. We stop them just short. It's 4th and 1. Play of the game right here. So it's one of those things where we have to hold our leverage. What are they going to call? Hey, when the call don't work, everybody can wonder, well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they give the ball to the quarterback? Why didn't they do this? Why did they saw something they liked? They're going to run speed option to the play side, and you're just going to see us play it to perfection, player by player. Colton Fowler sets the edge. You got Elliott Burris to the quarterback. You got Dylan Lappy sprinting through the line, speeding the whole thing up. You got Ryan Woods coming down the line. And then last but not least, you have Jackson Rutledge filling the alley, cleaning it up. Who got the tackle? Jackson Rutledge. We get to the sideline, 5 people tell me they made the tackle, right? Everybody on the field made the tackle. Watch the film, Jackson Rutledge. Now, everybody do their job to get it done, of course. And then, Carl, you know what it is, man. It's party time. I'm the first one out there. We're partying, we're jumping, we're hooting, and we're hollering. Just a special night, and it's something that our kids, honestly, will get to hold on to forever. And, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Such a great game and the roller coaster of emotions. Because you were showing when Fox had the ball in a few seconds left in regulation. With your view, I didn't see it before, but I saw their kicker warming up. So a lot that goes into do we go for it? Try to score the touchdown, or do we send in our kicker for extended extra point almost?
Carl, some people have asked me that question. So, sometimes you don't think about it. Sometimes you do. Hey, you're an extra point distance there in the fourth quarter. As coaches, we're faced with a lot of decisions, as we've talked about, right? Just watching this film, the amount of decisions that had to line up, the things that had to go our way, the things that didn't go our way. And what I'll say is none of us are out there watching their field goal kicker kick at practice. Okay. I'll tell you what, when we work Toledo, we kick it from the middle, right? Their guy's on the right hash. Maybe I need to start working left and right hash a little bit more too, right? So we're not watching their kicker on a daily basis. They are. That's why they're making these decisions. I'm watching their quarterback play a hell of a game. I wouldn't mind keeping it in his hands too, hey, when you make the right decision, it can't be questioned. When you make the wrong one, so goes the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, we really thank you for breaking down. That was just a tremendous game. I don't know what it's going to be called after that. Maybe people in the comments can, put in their suggestions.
Yeah, what do you guys want me to call this one? I always come up with a pretty good name. I've already put it up, and I don't know if you can't see my board over here. I have my list of top 7, top 8 games. This one jumped all the way to the top. So, it's one of those things. Hey, I told the boys on Monday too, game of a lifetime, game I'll never forget, game that, no one can ever take away from you juniors and seniors. There's going to come a time to remember it. There's going to become a time to celebrate it. That time is not now, right? Because now it's time to get ready for Northwest. And Northwest, they're a good football team. They're 2-0. They're riding very high, scoring a lot of points. And watching the film, they are improved. They've got a really good quarterback in Cohen Stark. They really want to feature him. It reminds me of the early days, of when we were kind of featuring Cole Rubel and he was putting up video game numbers. That's kind of what we're seeing from Northwest right now with their first 2 opponents in Sullivan and Melville. So we're making it a point this week. Stop him. Yeah. He's on our radar. So we're going to stop him. And, we're also talking about our DBs, slow play the run a little bit this week so we don't get the top taken off of us. And, when it comes to offense, how can we continue to take the top off of defense? How can we keep a defense on their toes? Do we need to be a little bit more balanced this year? I'm going to tell you what, I'll be hot dogging. I'll be loving it if we can rush for 200 yards this week, kind of get back to what we do. But, quarterbacks, receivers are working hard. They're executing. We're 14 of 20 in the passing game last week. We're going to expand. And keep trying to. The idea, Carl, as we talked about, we're expecting teams to loosen up a little bit, right? Now that you loosen up a little bit, now you get that opportunity to run the ball, right? So
big game, and Northwest is riding a 2-game win streak. They're undefeated so far, so they're feeling good about themselves. So it's going to be a great game at the Valley. As always, encouraging people to come on out and check it out. And
Yeah, Junior Jaguar night, Carl. So, we're going to have all of our youth teams out there. They're going to line the tunnel. They're going to be in their jerseys. One of my favorite nights, for our program. And Northwest is going to be a crowd. They're the only other Class 6 Jefferson County football school. We're very similar. We've played each other 23 times. The only team we've ever played more is Fox at 24. This is going to be the last meeting between us for a while. Not my decision, but it is what it is. Last meeting between Seckman and Northwest. So we want to leave it on top.
Yeah, certainly look forward to it. Friday, 7 o'clock. And of course, you could always find information of this podcast, not only on our Facebook page. We invite people to like and subscribe. You can also find this podcast on YouTube. And our friends over at Livestream STL, we got them 2 weeks in a row. They're going to be streaming that game. So if you can't make it to the Valley, we'll put a link as we get closer to game time. And so, Coach, you mentioned the Junior Jags. It's a big day. I know that someone in North St. Louis won the big lotto. I think this might rival.
Our views might go up a little bit today, Carl, because I've told everybody they got a view in, and we're putting it at the end. So hope you all hung around.
That's right. That was deliberate to get people to stick around for the end. But you have.
I don't want anybody to think I've cheated, Carl. I've got them all right here. Okay, I've been shaking up this big Dorito box for a couple days now, couple hours. We're gonna draw 4 names. Okay, first name. All right, that's our 4th place winner at $250. Second name drawn, that's our 3rd place winner, $250. Third name drawn, that's our 2nd place winner with $500. And then our 4th name, that's going to be our winner, our $1,000 winner. So this is a huge, a really big fundraiser, for the Junior Jaguars as far as helping parents and kids, afford to play the game. And, we were able to, help a few families out, give them extra tickets to sell to help cover the cost of playing Junior Jaguars and playing youth football. A lot of fun with that and excited to get these names drawn.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.
Okay. Hey, Carl, there's no magic tricks here. Okay. We see
no sleight of hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've shaken up the box. The box is shook. Hand is still here. Here we go. Our 4th place winner of $250 cash is going to be Mike Lowry. Okay, I'm going to cover up your phone number there, Mike. Mike Lowry, you got $250 coming your way.
All right. Congratulations, Mike.
I didn't say this at the top, Carl, but no repeat winners.
No repeats.
Mike, if you got another one in here, you ain't winning again. Okay. All right, here we go. Empty hand going in. We are shaking. We are making it happen. All right. Nora Woodsmall, covering up your phone number there. I'll give you a call later. Winner of $250.
All right. Congrats.
All right, our 3rd place winner.
Here we go.
Now we're going to 500.
Things
are going up. Eyes are out of the box. My hand is here. We're going in. We're making it happen. And Wendy Summers, winner of our $500 raffle. All right. Last but not least, Carl, this is the big one here. We're going to give it a few extra shakes.
If I thought about it, I should have done like a drum roll in here.
Okay. My hand is right here. My hand is empty. All right. We're going in. We're making it happen. Oh, baby. My eyes are over here. I'm going to come back out again just to show. We're going in for $1,000. Our winner, M. Hennington. Okay, with the phone number on the bottom, I will make sure to get a hold of these folks. All right, so if you won, I'm going to make you maybe watch the podcast and get back to me. I'll be reaching out to you here in the next few days, and we'll get that prize winnings out to you at practice next week.
All right. Well, congratulations to all the winners, and we appreciate them supporting Junior Jag football. And Coach, our time, unfortunately, is coming to an end for this podcast, but wanted to give you the floor. You talked a lot about the Fox game, and I don't think anyone is ever going to forget it, but wanted to give you the floor and take us out as we head into week number 3 against Northwest.
Yeah, hey, I'm sure at about 10 p.m. everybody had finally a chance to kind of breathe after the game and really kind of look back and replay the game in your head. You know, I've done it a few times this weekend. We did it a few times on the podcast today. What a night! You know, just what a night for football. And I told the boys too. Never in my 7 years that I've been here have we ever snatched a victory from the claws of defeat like we did there. I know ESPN has those percent chance winnings at a certain point in the game. When we were down 14-7 with a minute 50 to go, okay, I think ESPN would have gave us about a 3% to 2% chance of coming back, right? And, you know, for me, it just tells the story of this team, where their hearts are, and the trust that they're putting in each other, and the trust that they're putting in the coaches. And, you know, could have been just as easy for those guys to turn their backs on me. After the 4th and 1 call, they ain't no dummies. They know who made it. But I remember very specifically one of the boys coming up to me on the sideline saying, "Coach, hey, we got you. We got your back. We're going to get this done." And, you know, that gave me chills, right? You know, just to know that, you know, I talk about how I have their back all the time and I'll defend them. To know that the boys will do the same for me, it's a special bond and, you know, a blessing that I don't take very lightly. So love this team, love this group, and glad we get to go out and do it again this Friday.
Coach, no doubt the team is behind you, and the greater Jaguar Nation's behind you as well, and we look forward to seeing you and the team on the sidelines on Friday. So again, you know, just a tremendous game, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Thanks, Carl.
All right. Have a good one, Coach.
Two.
All right.